Just to recap kancane, kwa Esther we are just saying the power of a woman, amandla akumuntu wesifazane. And to go back kancane, we started by unpacking the power of a woman, and then last week we saying the power of a prayerful woman, and of course today we are saying the power of a business women leader. We ask for Esther. So we keep it relevant, Esther. We keep it relevant. Today, ngihamba with abomama, the leadership. Ngihamba with women in business. We ask Esther. We celebrate every woman who is there. We believe that there are women who have been raised for such a time as this. We believe that we've got Esthers of today. We believe that there are women who have been raised, whether it's in medicine, whether it's in farming, whether it's in I don't know, but we believe there are women that are supposed to stand in the gap. We believe that there are women that we need to celebrate. And I'm ngihamba with the daughters of the house. Ngihamba with Thando Mbatha. She is a co-founder of Taku Company. And ngihamba with Dr. Ntsiki. She's a medical practitioner and of course a prophetess. Sanbonani. How are you, ladies?
Mrs. Esther.
How are you?
We're good, hey?
You guys good?
You're still kicking.
I can see you guys looking beautiful today.
Thank you so
You're looking
much.
fly.
So to you.
And a happy Women's Month.
Thank you, same to you.
Just greet the viewers at home and tell them a little bit about yourselves.
Sanibonani Sbongile Mbatha Mbatha lo uthandiwe umajiane wakwaMbatha. I'm a CEO of Itaco Trading from Mpumalanga, but I'm born and bred in Newcastle.
Yes. All right. Welcome, Esther.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Sanibonani Sbongile Mbatha. I am Dr. Ntsiki. And in leadership, I always say that your first name alone should represent your work. You don't have to rely on your second name, the surname. Yes. Your works can live just with your first name. In fact, in the Bible, we see that it was Moses. We're not told Moses who. It was Apostle Paul, not Paul who.
Yes.
So your first name alone is sufficient when you have your works that speaks for you. I'm Dr. Ntsiki. I'm the CEO and founder of the Holistic Healing and Health Renewal Clinics. These are lifestyle clinics. I'm also the CEO and founder of Wisdom for Women Leadership International.
Wow.
Being the Women's Month, I am here for just the women of South Africa, although I really reach out to women internationally so that we can capture the issues of leadership, women leadership, and the role we have to play as women at the time like this.
Amen. Viewers at home, please you tell your friends nabo batshela abangani babo ukuthi Esther show is on. You share our media platforms that just share and you share. We have got Esther. We're all about educating. We're all about empowering each other. And for you to empower Banyabantu, you must share. You share your knowledge. One of our values, Esther, we value in knowledge because the Bible says, my people perish because they lack in knowledge. So whenever we try to bring these influential women, it's because we want to share the knowledge and experiences that they have been through. So Esther Tina, we are so selfless. We don't keep information to ourselves. We share information because we believe that we have been raised for such a time as this. And the woman, I'm a CEO, I'm rubbing shoulders. I'm rubbing shoulders. I make sure I bring the best Esther. Why? Because I believe in sharing knowledge and experiences. So ladies, how have you been? We've seen COVID pandemic, 2 years of COVID. How have you guys been? Especially you guys are in business, you are in leadership. How has that impacted you and your businesses?
Well, during COVID-19 businesses, it was hectic. Like any other businesses, Actually, Taco Trading, it's a motherboard of other small businesses that we have. So as soon as Taco Trading is struggling, then eventually the other businesses that you have might also struggle. So Taco Trading currently is busy with events and catering, industrial catering the most.
Yeah.
In power station, I can count, it's about 6-7 power stations
Whoa.
that we are working at currently, plus the government, COGTA, Governance and Traditional Affairs. And we are not undermining any events though. So during COVID, the events were shut down, were no longer there. However, in the power station, it was essential for us to still work, even though the employees, some of them were working at home. So, but we've managed to pull it through. We've managed to pull it through, and we give God the praise. We just, it's not because we are clever enough to be where we are today, because some of the business, they haven't even survived since then. So, but here we are. Here we are. And I would like to say Taco has got 5 babies under Taco, 5 companies under Taco. It's a motherboard. So as a CEO of Taco, it's not that, like I said earlier, because when you look back, uyazibuza ukuthi ngifike kanjani. Yes.
Because it has been hectic.
It has been hectic. It has been hectic.
On your side, Doctor?
I think I would just like to take a different perspective and actually focus on women post the crisis, that we need to reset as women, reset the sales, reset the way we look at things, reset our approach to life. I think what has come out clearly post-COVID, that as women we can be resilient. The remnant that has remained, I think post-COVID, show the power beyond just us, the Creator who has managed to sustain us. And as women, I think last episode we were hosting women of prayer. And I just want to say, as women, it's time we take up back our position, because women leaders are actually great leaders because they are able to influence without coercing people. They are able to influence. Women power is a subtle power we suggest, yet we can change the world. And so therefore, post-COVID, post any disaster, we may even be having other disasters that are coming, but we need to mobilize ourselves as women, the resilience that we have as women, the grace that we have as women, the ability to drive change without being autocratic, authoritative, compared with our male counterparts, which lead by position. Women don't need a position to lead. Women just stand and rise up to the occasion. In fact, when we look at leadership, you'll see that it is actually the crisis that actually makes leaders to step forward. You can look at the Word of God. It says in those days there was crisis. Someone had to take out Israelites out of Egypt. Someone stood up and did that. In leadership, it actually takes crisis to make the leader to be identified and developed, and someone will actually realize the potential inside of them and step up to the occasion and lead. And it's time for women to do that. Post the disaster, post the crisis, the resilience that we have as women, the wisdom that we have as women, the ability to change things without being forceful. I think we have been positioned for such a time because it is actually tough times that are ahead of us. And I think everyone at home, babukeli, doesn't need the genius to actually see that times have changed. Interests have gone up. The cost of living has gone up. Mothers have to be there for the children. The pressure that's coming out from the peers. Women are leaders at home, at church, in business, everywhere, and the expectation that is on women requires that we are able to coordinate and combine all the resources that are available around us as women, take that lead and lead the nation forward.
Wow, ladies, that was powerful.
That was powerful.
That was powerful. I like what Dr. Ntsiki said. These are the these are tough times. Everybody can see that a lot of things have changed, and Nyempela, we need resilient women. We need women Tina, forward we go. Yes, a lot has happened. People died. Things are changing. It's no longer the same, but we need women. We're not gonna fall back. Tina, even if we fall, we're gonna fall forward. We are resilient. Even with the women of 1956, they were resilient. We're celebrating a Women's Month because those women were resilient. They stood and said, no, we're not going to take this. We need such women. And I believe, honestly, when God laid this vision, Esther, in my heart, He did said, there are women who are supposed to stand right now. There are women who have been raised to stand for such a time as this. There are women, and I believe these are one of these women. Like, these women are those women that are supposed to stand. Imagine they survived, I'm a business, survived during COVID. And they are women leaders. I mean, really. What can we say? We have power within us as women. We have so much power. So I'm just going to come to you, Mrs. Mbatha.
No problem.
So you are in business. So I just want to find out what really made you to say, I want to start a business. I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job. Because especially with us black people, we are taught to go to school, hambi yosebenza, and then pelele lapho. But when you decided, I want to be a business lady. I want to be my own, business lady. So what made you to start a business? Because these are tough times.
Yeah.
Your salary is no longer enough. It's no longer sufficient to maintain. So we need different income streams right now. And I'm happy that I'm seeing a lot of people taking this business route. So, because we are here to encourage someone out there. Business, but maybe am I right by starting a business? So what made you to go for business?
Thank you so much, Sbongile. Mina as uthandiwe Gianni, apparently mangiphume esikolweni bengenze electrical engineering. I started working as a technician. Ngaqala ukusebenza ngemncane, I was 21 years. For 10 years.
Wow.
So I took a risk, if I can say. I took a risk. I was passionate ngokudla. Hence, I was not qualified by then, but I was passionate. So I started a business yokudla. Nginga na paper, something like a qualification or anything. And I was selling ukudla. I took my provident fund. I bought a kitchen mobile, and I was towing a kitchen mobile for 40 kilometers. 20 kilometers in, 20 kilometers back. Sama plate. Hamba nomuntu, I had to pay for that particular person. And sometimes by then, I was about 31 years. Like I said, I was 21 years and I've worked for 10 years as a technician. And everyone was like, why don't you start a business? When this is okay and so forth, there's a technical, because
you've got experience now.
Yes, and you've got experience. But I was not, get me right. But there was that something about
Be
ukudla.
passionate about.
Yes, yes. So I started the business. When you start the business, it's not gonna just flow. Obviously, it's gonna go down. But we're doing umuntu brave. Itaku since 2010 to date.
Wow.
Since 2010, azange iti maika, like I said, I was selling the food from 20, because I dropped M7 in 2012. But Itaku was already registered. So I took a risk. So what I'm trying to say in your question, you must be passionate. And you must be able to take a risk. Because our salaries, they make you, it's a security.
Yeah, true.
It's very, very difficult for a person to say, I mean, if I'm dropping M7,
Let's
I'm
have
not
a
going to get paid. But you took a risk. Because ulidwa yini passion. Without that, angeke uzozuphona.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the first reason why ngathatha this risk. The second one is you achieve a financial independence if you are running your own business. And then another thing, you control your lifestyle. You control your lifestyle. It's unlike you are on the roster. Sbongile, I'm expecting you to come on duty at night. I was working even a night shift. There is a shift, they call it a graveyard, that is 10 to 10 at night till in the morning. They call it a graveyard. And when you think about the grave, you know, doctor, it's just something else. And it's your shift. You're calling your shift the grave. So, yeah, but I'm not criticizing where I'm coming from, but I'm just grateful that it took me because it makes me to be a woman that I am today.
Wow. Passion.
Yes.
If you want to venture into business, I'll just say, find something that you're passionate about.
And be ready to take a risk.
And be ready to take a risk. Obviously, if you're gonna be a business owner or a leader, those people are risk takers. They take a risk without even knowing what the business. We didn't know that COVID was gonna come. We did not know. But people who are in business, because they are risk takers, they were prepared to take that risk, even of something that you didn't know that it was gonna come, right? So be a risk taker. You know, by a risk taker, it's not something nice. It needs you to be brave. Good. Esther, if I perish, I perish. Be like an Esther. Esther,
Yes.
one of the things that we can say about Esther, Esther was a courageous woman. She said, yes, I'm not allowed to go to the king, but for my people, I'm gonna go. If I die, I die. As a business owner, as someone who wants to venture into business, or as a leader, you must have that spirit, Esther. If I perish, I perish. If I die along the way, but I'm going to take that risk. And be prepared. Have passion. Have passion. What's the passion of peg? Yes, both Thando umsebenzi wakhe, but she also had a passion. So find something that you're passionate about and see if you can start a business. Kuleyo passion yakho. We're talking about leadership. We're still on leadership. So as a woman leader, we're seeing women, guys. Women are taking up space now. We're seeing women climbing corporate ladders. CEO. So you see women are really, really climbing the corporate ladder. They're taking up space. So doctor, what is leadership? According to you, what is leadership?
Wow. Thank you very much for that question. Leadership is quite a broad area, and as such there are quite a number of definitions of leadership, and it really depends on which one resonates with you. And the one that I like most, I read extensively about leadership. As I said, I have a leadership organization for women, Wisdom for Women Leadership, and therefore to be an expert in a space, you've got to do a lot of reading, because you cannot give what you don't have. So you first have to have something, then you can offer what you have. So in the definitions that I think I really came across, the one that spoke to me is by Dr. Myers Monroe. You know, he says the leadership is the capacity to influence people. And most definitions, they end there. But it's the capacity of influencing people through inspiration. So it means these people, you are influencing them by inspiring them. So it's got to do with the character of the leader. It is what inspires people. So it's the capacity to influence the people through inspiration, which is coming motivated by actually your belief system, what you believe about yourself. And that actually is developed by the understanding that you have a purpose to be here. You are no accident. And you have, that then gives birth to the vision. And that vision is what actually brings compassion and makes you to motivate people by, inspiring them towards this vision. So the vision comes from the conviction that you were born to contribute something to your generation. So that's the leadership definition that I really ascribe to. Because if you're a leader that does not have a vision, there are leaders who have found themselves in leadership positions by positions. They've been appointed to be leaders. And I don't want to say much about those leaders, because what you see there is not leadership, but is position. I have my own quote, I think, that I say leadership is not a portfolio. So many people have confused leadership with portfolio. If you happen to be a director general but a poor leader, you are still a poor leader. You have a good portfolio. I have been fortunate enough to work in the highest offices, in the presidency, in the premier's offices, and I've seen it all in government, in private sector, in academia, and I've come across people with best portfolios and poor leadership skills, and great leaders who don't have portfolios. So I made this conclusion that leadership is not a portfolio, neither is it a position. It is the ability to actually take people along with you, motivating these people through inspiration. Your character must be this thing that makes people want to follow you. Therefore, great leaders don't tout for abakhangeli bafune bangalali ebusuku campaigning for followers. No, automatically they are followed by the followers, because the followers are inspired by the character in the leaders.
Wow, leaders. I like what Dr. Ntsiki actually could say. Leadership is not about portfolio. Leadership is not about your position. I'll just say leadership is about empowering other people. Leadership is about serving.
It's about serving.
It's not about you being served. It's about you serving. Because when you once you realize that you've got a purpose, you are here on this planet for a certain purpose, and one of the purpose to serve people. So as a leader, you are here to serve. You are here to empower other people. You are here to make other people's lives better. That's what it, because you are an influencer. She did mention that you must influence abanye abantu. So as an influencer, I was influence abanye abantu in a negative way. You have to influence in a positive way. And for me, leadership is also falling in love with the people that you serve, and people falling in love with you. So it's going to be easier for them to follow you, because why? Uyabathanda labantu. You can't be serving people ongabathandi. So for me, it's not about position. It's about empowering other people. I still remember last year we invited Rev SC Matebula in this leadership conversation. He did mention that as a leader, you must have knowledge and more than your followers.
True.
He even made an example. If you read 5 books, I mean, if your people read 5 books, you have to read 10 books. So you must always be ahead, because you cannot offer something that you do not have. As a leader, you must be a bit above in terms of knowledge, your followers. Wow.
And much more importantly, you must have a clear vision, because what rallies people around you is the vision that you have as a leader. And the way you communicate that vision, and the way you you inspire people with your character. You can give them the long term, the short term, the medium term of the vision. But it is that compassion that's coming from the conviction about your vision, this thing that you are willing to die for. And people will pick up that compassion in you, and it will actually make them to be inspired to want to follow you.
Wow. Have a vision. Have a vision. People automatically will follow you. So you must know, if you are a visionary, automatically you are a leader. Once you have a vision, you are automatically a leader. So that people must follow, your vision must be on a par. So Mbatha,
Yes,
as a woman leader, what challenges have you faced, especially as a woman leader? There are a lot of challenges that we normally face as leaders, but as a woman leader, I think they're quite different. So what challenges have you faced in this position of being a leader? Oh, umuntu wesifazane.
Okay. Eyokuqala nje, you are not being taken serious as a woman leader, because I've been attending amanye trainings and meetings and whatever you can call it, whereby you can find it's only 1 or 2 women there, and the majority, 99%, it's male. So siyabonga kakhulu Sbongile about this show, because ukukhuthaza abantu besifazane emakhaya, they bayasaba. They can do it, but they must just wake up, but keep the cowardness that is within them. But they are not going to do it on their own. They must pray as well, because we as women, we can fight, we can win the battle by praying. So challenges now is that the women still,
serious.
they are not taken serious, and asikho baningi, particular in businesses. That is another reason we are not taken serious as women. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, which is still bad. Dr. Ntsiki, do you want to add?
Wow. It's I think she said a very critical one, that women are not taken seriously. And I want to say that it is high time as women we take back our position of authority. Because for us to be taken seriously, we've got to take ourselves seriously as women.
Exactly.
Those women who have succeeded, when you interview them, they will tell you that people were rallying for them to succeed. We're actually men. Kunalento yokuthi singabomama asikhona ukusupportana. We cannot cheer each other up. And that is actually something that works against women, because even if a woman has fallen, it needs another woman to pull her up and say you can make it. However, this is not how our culture, when I say culture, ngithi indlela esikhuliswe ngayo, ngithi indlela esiyenza ngayo izinto as women, and as such we have landed ourselves in a position as women that we are not taken seriously in society. And we need to take back our position. You know, the challenges that face women range from not being taken seriously in the boardroom, outside the boardroom, generally, even unfortunately, even in the house of God, there are still churches that believe that women can only preach in certain areas or cannot preach. And therefore, I'm saying as women, when we do show by leadership, not by talking, you know, a leadership is modeled. That's where the challenge is. You cannot manage to rally people around you as a good leader if you say go this way. It's got to be your character that make people to admire you. I always say Nelson Mandela, who many people know, was one of his values was time. He would not say to you, you must be in the office at this time. But when you get to the office at 8 o'clock, he has long been there. And that sends a strong message that says, you've got to be here far ahead of the time of starting. And so I was just saying that we've got to model that good leadership as women if we want to be taken seriously. The other challenge that we face as women is sexual or even gender-based violence. And this is a result of women who are not independent. Mbatha says something, that when you work for yourself, you will have your financial independence. Women, that you have something unique about yourself. You were created with a purpose. There is that one problem that God, when he was creating you, when you will come to this earth and solve this problem. If you can just remember that, even Manipuma from your father, Nimbe, as said, you were not alone. You were competing with others, and you made it to the egg of your mother, meaning therefore that you became victorious even at that stage. Therefore, there's something inside you as a woman that you should be able to mobilize and say, I can make it as a woman. I have a purpose. I am no accident in this world. There is that problem that only me can solve, and do it so well that I will be sitting in my throne and not be shaken when I do it. Now, women, because of their lack of understanding that they have so much value to add, a contribution to make in our generation, they rely on men. They depend on men. And there's a mindset that has been created in our society that men can look after women. Maybe in the times of our grandmothers, maybe that thinking was quite useful. But in this era, we have to assist men. Women are made to be helpers. God created us to be helpers. God did not create women to be children to those men. So if you want to be a child to your partner, that is what you're going to experience, that violence, because you will have no voice, because you're a child. You will have no decision-making authority or power in that relationship. And this is why we hear stories of women being put in plastic bags and thrown out there. So I ngiyabonga ukuthi usibize for us to encourage women and say, we can all make it. There's something out there for you. We must embrace the uniqueness in each one of us. Mbatha is unique. Her story is unique. Your story is unique. My story is quite unique. I matriculated at 16 years old, and my mother was a matron of a hospital, and she took me straight to nursing. At that time, a long application and waiting list. Because you will play at university, you are still young, so you have to start here. So I started there as a professional nurse, and every day as a nurse trainee. Every day in first year, I would cry and say to my mother, I don't want to be here. And my mother would say, please wait, you will see in the second year. Second year, you'll be setting trays. I would be hopeful that at least I'll be setting trays for doctors. Let me hang in there. And then I would say, no, Mama, I want to stop this thing. He said, no, wait for third year. Third year, you will be delivering children. It's so fulfilling. You'll be doing midwifery. You will deliver children, and you will see the joy of holding a baby you have delivered and is alive. And that's where I started. I did all of that, and I said, this is not enough. And because I was young, I was granted again a scholarship to do psychiatry. I did psychiatry. I understood mental illness and what drives it. And it was from there where I saw that Western medicine alone is not sufficient for people. I proceeded to do my Master of Science in Medical Informatics to understand the human being as a whole. That's when I then ended up doing integrative medicine. And on top of that, I did the doctorate in management, which is what makes me to be a leader in various sectors. So therefore, I am not confined in the health sector alone. Wherever I can go, leadership is leadership. The principles, there are principles that go with leadership that you must apply to be a great leader. And I would love that we encourage women as we are here from various sectors to find themselves. Our culture has not been such that we find ourselves as women. We were brought up to look for a job. That's an average woman, and get salary. And people are content with the getting a salary, and they even tell you they are waiting for pensions. They count number of years staying in one position, waiting for pensions. By the time they get out of there, their life is actually towards the sunset. And yet we are created for much greater things. There's more to life than earning a salary. I'm not saying it's a wrong thing to be employed. Babukele makhaya angithi ukusebenzela umuntu ikuyinto erongo, kodwa ngifuna ukusho ukuthi uNkulunkulu has created each one of us uniquely to have that thing in us, that ability in us to solve a human problem. And when we've found, when you've identified that one that is yours, that's the purpose. And that purpose will give birth to the vision. And that vision, when you are convicted that this is the thing that I must live for, I must die for. You know, I love Jesus Christ because Jesus says, when he spoke, Jesus was very, very, very interesting in his approach to leadership. He didn't work with masses of people because he understood the simple fact that if you want to create change, you need a small number of change agents and empower them. And then they can, once they grasp the principle and actually are sold out to your vision, they will continue. That is why, if that's from the 12 disciples, even today we still hear about them. We read about them, the work that they did, because they were convicted. They were convinced that that vision is what they would die for. Find something, Mbugele Kai, that is something that you are so passionate about. Uti, you can die for. Jesus uti makakhuluma nathi in his word. The Bible, which is a book that I love to read because I call it a manual for humankind. Uti, if you want those who are wanting to save their lives, they will lose it. But those who lose their life, who are prepared to lose their lives and follow him, they'll actually gain their lives.
Wow, Babugele Makhaya, that was powerful. That was really, really. I still hope you guys are blessed, because when I'm blessed, that's right now. Yes, the Esther. August. I'm my guests, I don't bring just Ntsiki. Because I care about you guys, because I value our viewers, I value you guys, so I bring the best. Like, I bring people who will just influence you guys, people who will just do the best, and you guys be blessed, Nani. So Mbatha, as a leader, you are a mother, a wife, a leader, you know, multitasking. How do you balance your life, Nempel? Women are powerful. You know, women are powerful. From being a mother, nothing can tell you a wife, you're a leader. How do you do it?
Firstly, Sbongile, when you're a leader, okay, currently Ithako is very, very fortunate because we've got 79 managers inside Ithako.
Like managers.
I'm talking about management.
Wow.
79. In total of his staff, it's 1 digit to 400.
Wow.
So you delegate. Number one, angeke uzukwazi ukuzenzela on your own.
True.
You delegate, and then you must have enough sleep, because otherwise, if you don't balance the things, if you can't have enough sleep, then somewhere somehow doctor can agree with me. Angazi lutho lapho balaleli, I think good doctor.
Yeah.
Ngiphosela ngapha good doctor, but you must balance the sleep. And then uma ngingena from the office, okay, phansi kwethakho kunama guest lot, kune accommodation, kunani. That it's the story for another day, I guess. I don't want to jump to that because it's also babukele emakhaya studio. So when I come back home, I'm no longer a CEO. I'm taking out the jacket of the CEO. I now become a wife. I become a mother of my kids. Remember, ekuqaleni we were focusing kakhulu emsebenzini, even if sisekhaya doc, you'll open the laptop, of which is very wrong. You open the doc, umntwana uyafika, mama, can you please help me with the homework? Okay, mancane, let me finish with this email. It's very wrong. This is what we normally do. But I don't want umbukele emakhaya to repeat the same mistake nami ngingayenza before, because I've learned. And if you are the wife, you have to submit to your husband. By submitting to your husband, omunye umuntu uzoyi-interpreta wrong, acabange mhlawumbe ukuthi ngisho maybe side liwani kuphela. By submitting, makacela amanzi, you make a tea, you make whatever, mayithi ngilambile, you are the first person ekumele respond to that. Whether you've got a helper or not, but you must respond to that. Makafuna impahla, you must respond to that. So what I'm saying is, whatever the position you are outside, you must be able to ukuwahlukanisa mangabe sowungena kwenye task. Because remember that there's no one pointing isibhamu ukuthi be a mother, be a wife, be a CEO. So kumele for you kufanele udelegate number one, ngoba ngishilo ngithi emsebenzini uya divide ukuthi okay, I can't communicate with all of this management, but they are senior management and communicator nawo, nabo ba communicator nababo kanjalo. So mangabe kunama reports adinga ukuthi ngwazi, I'm getting ama reports on a weekly basis. I don't want a monthly because ngafika inyanga sekumoshekile mhlawumbe sometimes ezinye izinto. So on monthly basis. So ukuthi aphuma, I request it from the particular person. So it's a delegation. Nayo uyazi ukuthi lokho akufuna kumele akusubmit kimi ukutholakala kubani. But mawuphuma nje emsebenzini ungena ekhaya, then you are no longer on the same position as you were emsebenzini. So ungena kwenye position. So kumele ukwazi ukuhlukanisa nasekhaya if there are people abanye abakusizayo, ngoba in our days sesinama helpers Sbongile. So you end up awulazi nesokisi lika baba, uwazi ushukela ukuthi ukhona endlini or whatever. So kumele konke lokho uzalign, wazi ukuthi kitchen lakho kwenzakalani, because mawusungena la sengena unkosikazi kubantwana, umntwana mangabe khona umntwana ongasena masokisi ohamba ngagcobanga ekuseni, you need to know as a mother. Yeah.
Wow.
So you need to balance
Balance your life.
You balance your life.
Know your position. Because mase ngisekhaya, sengu-wife manje. Awuseyona CEO. CEO bushiyele office. Mase use-office uyi-CEO. Mase usekhaya, be a mother, be a wife. Keep a degree yakho, keep a doctorate yakho. Eceleni. Awushada umyeni azangashada udokotela.
Na ukhonjwa ngesibhamu ukuthi ungene la.
Azangashada udokotela, azangashada i-accountant, ushade uSbongile. So ladies, yawazi ukuthi bathini, bathi balance your life, balance your life. So dokotela ngizoyishiftela kuwe ke le. What makes a good leader? Because we're talking leadership namhlanje mithi. What makes a good leader?
I think I had shared that in the beginning. The starting point is for a leader who has the vision. But that vision is birthed by understanding that the person exists with a purpose. Now, great leaders know that they have to empower others so that they can also succeed. They surround themselves with great people and they actually cultivate greatness in those people. Great leaders will ensure that people around them are both competent and confident. They understand that people are at the center of success. Great leaders have integrity. If you don't have integrity, you may have a very good vision, but I'll say leader. Integrity is you say what you mean and you mean what you say.
Wow.
Integrity. Great leaders are accountable. Uba ithe this is what is going to happen, a great leader will go back to the people at this is the direction that we are taking and we have moved this far. A great leader knows that you have to account to the people, and that comes from what you said, Esther. Uti, you actually got to have the attitude of serving. Now, one thing about great leaders, they have a unique attitude, the attitude of positivity. They see good in everything. What now you would see as a challenge, they see as an opportunity. And in them, they have an inherent trait of self-sacrifice to see they succeed. You must know, maungenayo kuwe le ndaba yokuthi sacrifice. You are not a great leader. If you want to step on others so that you are not a great leader.
Wow.
So we have seen people, we have seen women in great positions, and they think that being a leader means they must be oppressive to other women.
people.
Baningi ababukeli lapha ekhaya abakhalayo emsebenzini kune bullyism, kune humiliation, degrading, because of people who have been given positions of leadership, yet they do not have the traits of great leaders. Ngifuna ukunikhuthaza babukeli emakhaya ukuthi mawusithola usesimene esinjalo, unomphathi onjalo, one portfolio enkulu engaka, kodwa yena engenazo i-traits of a great leader, usizane naye. Ungamdonseli phansi kodwa umsize kancane, expose the traits of a good leader by being an example wena, ngoba uzobona la kuwe ukuthi kuhanjwa kanjani when you're a great leader. It doesn't matter nokuthi yakho iposition isezantsi kuneyakhe. You know, a good thing can never be hidden underground.
True. So true.
So people will see when you exhibit traits of a good leader. Noba wena bakuthathele ukuthi ushanyele lapho in that firm, kodwa the way you do things and your character can inspire even those who are above you ngokwe-position to see that there is something about you that is unique, that makes you a great leader.
Wow. Also, doctor, if ufuna ukuyibona ukuthi you're a great leader, you don't oppress abanye abantu. In fact, a leader uplifts abanye abantu. A leader, it nurtures abantu. A leader, it grows abanye abantu. Once you are a leader, you must make sure that you build other leaders. You cannot be a leader ungakhona ukukhulisa abanye abantu ukuthi baba ama leader. So long as wena leader nje one, but abekho abanye abakulandelayo who portray leader. No, question your leadership skills. Question your leadership, because I like my a leader has integrity. You must have integrity as a leader. You must grow and build other people. So that sibone ukuthi hayi bo baya multiply, leader multiply, ne?
Exactly.
Wow.
And you are empowering those people. And leaders do not manipulate people to follow them.
True.
Akusiyo le esibonayo in our culture. Our culture, unfortunately, in different spheres, has landed itself in a leadership that is seen by people as leadership, yet is manipulation of people. A great leader does not manipulate people. A great leader inspires people. Nge character yakhe ubona kuye and you wanna be like them. Bona how they do things, you wanna be like them.
Like
A great leader inspires people to be the best that they even never thought that they could be. That is a great leader.
Even if you get better than that person.
That person, then the great leader will celebrate. A great leader celebrates when he sees others, growing. And I want to say, as women, those who have been blessed enough to be in leadership position, ukuthi sihlale sikhumbula ukuthi you must take someone with you. Take someone along with you. Don't go it alone. Take someone. And there's a program that I love that we are in with Prof. Thuli Madonsela. And we are women ready to lead 2030. There we are actually engaging as women who want to take the country forward, looking at what is happening in terms of the constitution of the country, in terms of the realities facing women, in terms of the challenges faced by women who are trying to stand up in business, in academia, in other areas of life. So I am saying that what we emphasize there is, as you rise,
take someone
take
with
some along. So take someone along.
Leaders reproduce other leaders. You cannot just run with one. And the lead, ube lapha as a leader, abantu bakho followers abela. You take the same journey as your followers as a leader. You must, when you're a leader, you walk with your people, you walk with your followers. I will be ahead than bona. Then you're not a leader. You must reproduce. And one thing that I can assure you, a leader, you must leave a legacy. There's something that you must leave behind. You must leave other people. I am that I am because of Dr. Ntsiki. I am that I am because of Mama Mbatha. Then you have left a legacy as a leader. So if you're a leader, you just shabalala and nezinto zakho shabalala. It's a problem. It's a big issue. We are about to close. Yes.
Yeah, just on that point, just on the very point that you've made, a great leader doesn't die. Doesn't die. We still talk about great Martin Luther Jr. We still talk about Nelson Mandela. We still talk about Dr. Miles Monroe. A great leader doesn't die. A great leader doesn't die.
Wow.
So if you're a great leader, they will not kill you. They can never kill you. They will name roads after you. They'll name streets after you. Your name will live on
Forever.
And one of the crucial attributes of leadership is humility. It is what I think we need to go back to as a country. Humility. Something has happened to us as a nation that just has shaped us to be everyone wanting to be out there. Share your journey, share your successes with humility, serve with humility. Great leaders have that trait of humility. Great leaders have that trait of being good communicators.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was powerful. Ladies, unfortunately our time is up, but just to close your closing remarks, Mbatha, I just want to know, what keeps you going every day? What keeps you going with, you know what? Unga give up, because kunzima la phandle, kunzima ukuba a leader, kunzima ukuba a business lady in such a times are very difficult.
True.
But what keeps you going? What motivates you? What as in, I'm not gonna give up, no matter how tough it is, no matter how tough it gets. But kuba nalendit ngaphambili.
Thank you so much, Sbongile. In my side, what makes me keep on pushing and going is to find my whys. Why am I doing this? Why I want to give up? Why I want to push? Because in most cases, we as a businesswoman, once you find your whys, why I want to give up, you can find that majority of us will say fear of failure. What if Sbongile laugh at me? What if people say, what if? That is a negative why that you most of us is going to find. The positive one will say, I've got a passion. Why I should push? Because I've got a passion.
That passion
Because
must push.
I've got a visionary. And once you start playing a vision, you must have goals, Sbongile. Once you write down all your goals, Mina, you can laugh if ungabona my goals. And I can tell you I have achieved some already. But some, omunye umuntu maye ngayifunda doc kuzothi it's impossible. How come? And it was impossible back then. But today I've got it. So once you've got your goals, you start playing a vision yawo ukuthi if sengi achievile kuzoba njani. Yeah, understand that. Yeah, understand. So those kind of things, they keep me pushing. Keep me pushing. Yes, you have the goals, and then once you've got the goals, we are visionarize this thing. As soon as you achieve, izoba njani? How is it gonna be? Then, as soon as you find your whys of giving up and whys of make you push, then uzobe so aware ukuthi which one is gonna. Obviously, mau give up, mau visionara ukuthi give up ile. Then vele it's not a nice one. It's not a nice video. But the other one is a positive one.
Wow.
So eventually you will keep on pushing. It motivates you, and you make sure that you achieve those goals.
Wow, interesting. Very vision. You must have a vision. As a leader, business lady, have a vision and live your vision. If people can see a vision, Esther, the vision that God has shown me, Esther was
Yeah.
Also because I see Esther internationally. I see Esther in the same level, like about opera.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
But I every day I say that is why I don't give up. Even if news goes, I don't wanna. But remind goes no. Look where I want you to go.
Exactly.
And Sbongile Mbatha, then Doc, in closing, I want you to encourage abantu besifazane, to empower abantu besifazane njengamanje ukuthi how can we as women exercise the powers now? How can we as women take up space? How can we as women grow and siba ma business, siba ma CEO njenganani, siba ma leader? Just in your closer, encourage abantu besifazane.
Ngiyabonga Sbongile. What I would like to say to Abugele Kaya, for each one of you, Mama, Sisi, Gogo, it's never too late. God created you with the purpose, and that purpose you can still achieve. That purpose is the one that is developed when you are in communication with your Creator. Sbongile Mbatha, if you are separated from your Creator, you will struggle to develop your purpose. It's never too late. You can start today and identify your purpose. What drives me is the compassion, the deep compassion that I have for God's people and seeing them suffering. It is what made me to, in those days when I used to work in the facilities, in the hospitals, I used to pray for patients. When I see God's people suffering, I want to do something. It is that same compassion that made me to have the vision of saying, let me get deeper into holistic healing, because I used to get hurt when I see God's person limited by having one leg amputated or an arm amputated. I said, why not care for the entire body, physically, emotionally, spiritually? Because when you do holistic healing and health renewal, a person can do much more in the life and live a long life. It is that compassion that for people, that deep compassion for people that made me to start this, to have this vision of wisdom for women leadership organization globally. It is that same compassion that made me to be actually awarded as a global peace ambassador. Because when I see God's people, I have that deep compassion, and in their suffering, I want to see justice for them all. And I go out of my way to ensure that each person uniquely identifies and their purpose and find themselves, which is something that is still not a very common thing in our society. Find yourself, because until then, you will be a copycat imitating other people. Yet for each one of us, there's a role to play. The world needs umbukeli. Kunendawo yakho ofanele ukuyidlale in this world. And when you're a copycat of someone, you are not only wasting your time, you are making us to lose as a nation.
Wow. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us, Esther.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yes,
If you're still in South Africa.
Thank you.
Obvious. We're going to be still here.
Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
We are really appreciate the opportunity. Siyabonga nakubabukeli emakhaya. If we have to have a woman president, I wish that woman president could be remembered by just helping women find themselves. Find themselves and actually helping women stand up for each other, fighting the injustices against women.
Wow, viewers at home, I hope you are blessed. Because I feel this episode has served its purpose. Babukele Makaya, especially women, I pray that you guys take out the fear and make sure that you take up space. Occupy your shape as a woman. You are an amazing. You guys are powerful. Women are powerful. And I believe in women. People that knows me, they know that I've got strong feeling about women. I know that God has placed this vision in my heart because I believe in women. I believe there's so much, not because I'm a feminist. I know sometimes people call me a feminist, but I believe that there's so much power in a woman. I mean,
Yes.
if you read the Bible, there's so many ways where God used them, including Esther. God used a normal woman to save abantu bakhe. God used Mary to bring salvation.
Yes.
So babukele emakhaya, especially women, you guys are amazing. You guys are powerful. Never ever doubt the power that lies within you as a woman. So from me, Sbongile, keep going, keep walking, and keep believing in that power that you have. And please, Doctor, emphasize, find your purpose. Find the reason why God created you. Find the reason why you are here. Once you find your purpose, trust me, people can buy aeroplanes next to you. You still celebrate with them. People can fall, you still pick them up with a smile, because when you know why you are here on this planet. From me, Sbongile Mbatha, thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting this vision. Thank you to everyone who keeps watching, who keeps commenting, who keeps supporting the vision. And until Thursday, bye.
Bye.